What's up, everybody? I wanted to make a quick update, very informal, but just sharing some more details about the changes I've made to the Flicker Strike build since the initial publication of my guide. There's a couple reasons I made these changes. The main one was I wanted to test whether the build could be a little better at mapping and just like general content clearing. And I realized that in order to do that, we really needed to be running all three heralds, or at least it optimizes the AoE clear with all three heralds. And then I realized if I'm running all three heralds, I need to run Coming Calamity. And then I realized if I'm running all three heralds and running Coming Calamity, then I really should have the Coming Calamity Notable. And then I realized that we no longer need Beacon Amulet because Coming Calamity neutralizes enemy resists. So swapped in a rare amulet. And I realized that we really should allocate Doomsayer so that heralds have more AoE and more damage. Long story short, a ton of things about the build changed, and I wanted to just make a really informal video to go over these. I don't have any structure or layout for this, and I'm not going to do any editing for this video at all. And I'll probably release it as like a members only type thing so it doesn't clutter like my content area on the YouTube channel. Okay, so let's start with the item changes. So it's really just three. Coming Calamity is in. I have Chaos Res socketed, but you could socket whatever you need. It could be stats, it could be resist, it could just be Iron Runes for general improvement. There's also some new Soul Cores and runes you could check out. You no longer need an unset ring because the Herald skills are given for free. Even though Herald of Ash is deactivated due to strength requirement, it works anyway on Coming Calamity. I don't know why, it just does. Don't hover over it, it'll crash your game. I'm not going to hover over it right now. And then the links for the Heralds. So now we're using Herald of Thunder to proc Ice Bite, which gives us a 35% more damage modifier. So we've got Ice Bite, Glaciation, Immolate, and Embitter. These are the four you want. Herald of Ice is more flexible. However, because we are using Ice Strike, we do freeze and proc this a lot. So I'm treating it, pretty seriously. Long shot, I don't know. Maybe bad, maybe good. It's hard to tell with how much this is proccing the freeze kills and how much my actual local Ice Strike is. Maybe this should be something different, but these ones, Conduction, Frost Nexus, and Mag Effect, I don't know. You can just put Mag and Reach in here. Both are pretty good. Just for more AoE. But yeah, this is Herald of Ice pretty solid now. Okay, so that's the major Coming Calamity change. Next is Headhunter. This is not required. You can run Ingenuity, but I am like mapping a lot with this build now, and it's really strong. So obviously Headhunter makes sense. It also helps with the stat requirements quite a bit. Neither of my rings have stats on them, so it's very helpful. And then you can drop the Beacon of Xesht amulet and run whatever amulet you want here. This one isn't necessarily ideal, but it does have solid crit chance, crit bonus, and accuracy rating, along with some energy shields and some dex. It's pretty good. Probably better here would be a melee skills amulet with crit chance, crit bonus, and then I don't know what else you'd put on there, just whatever you want. But yeah, those are the three main item changes, and then you no longer need an unset ring. That's it for items. We talked about these two gems. Another thing I did that was really helpful for map clearing, one is I took Voltaic Mark out of the cast on crit because it eats too much mana, just plain and simple. If you're struggling with pinnacle bosses, definitely put Voltaic Mark back in. It increases that shock value a lot. And then I moved Perfusion from the manual Profane Ritual to this linked cast on crit one, because this one is the one that's keeping your uptime in maps rather than this one for bosses. Two more things. I socketed a blink in the offhand. This is very nice just for moving around maps and stuff. Now that mobility is like more significant for more content, that's really, really helpful. It was actually pretty tricky to get this going. What I would recommend is bumping your skellies down to 0, then set up all your swap gems. So like Cast on Crit is 1 only, Infernal Cry is 2 only, Sacrifice is 2 only, and then Blink is also 2 only. And you can see it's like kind of glitched right now. It says it's on, but it's actually off. So you have to like turn it on and then you can open it. It's really goofy. But yeah, in Blink we've got Ingenuity, Arcane Surge. I don't know. You don't need that in there. And then Arcane Tempo is probably good. The other thing I'll say is that Wind Dancer is just like so mega important for mapping. It just saves you constantly and clears constantly. I've got Elemental Focus, Excoriate. These are both adding damage. And then I've got Blind and Maim. You could also go with more AoE here. You could go with Reach or Magnified Effect. You could also put more damage in here if you wanted to. You could go with Close Combat or something. But yeah, this is a workhorse right here in Wind Dancer. Okay, and then the passive skill change. So because we're running Coming Calamity and it doesn't have a lot of evasion and it has no energy shield, I dropped back these 4 Spectral Ward nodes here. At first, because I wanted to freeze things more, I was coming up here to get one with the river. If you could find a Megalo Jewel with this, that would be awesome. This is like a really powerful node. But ultimately, I found after testing that for 5 points, it wasn't really needed. And so I found some other things to do with my points just for damage. I've got these low life nodes here maxed out. So previously I didn't have these two. And then these Herald nodes are so insane in POB. So we're at 51 mil DPS, which is more than the previous iteration. If we hike these back, 46. So those are adding 5 mil DPS, which is absolutely nutty. And then let's see what else. I also put in, oh yeah, and look at these 2 nodes as well. Bump, bump. 45. So if we drop those 2 and these 3, just these 5 points, we lose 10 mil DPS almost. So that's crazy. Absolutely crazy for 5 points. Check in your POB whether you're overcapped on crit. You want this crit overcap to be as low as possible, and it'll convert the percentage into your increased chance that you have room for. So I'm at exactly just 2% over. Another thing, after I hiked these back, I came in and I got this Essence of the Mountain freeze buildup, extra damage is cold. Pretty sure this is kind of crappy, but I'm still just hanging on to it because I like cold and I like shatter. And then I went in and got this extra power charge here with increased bonus if you've gained a power charge recently. So yeah, I think this setup here is really ideal. The only flexibility is if you want more freeze, come get this. The nodes on the way there are not bad. These 3 are probably bad. I'm in the middle of experimenting, and then the additional power charge is sort of like quality of life. I kind of like it. It helps with the uptime to charge staff, and it also helps with deleting Xesht. But yeah, there is room here to hike these back, take away this Essence of the Mountain stuff, take away this power charge stuff, and then you could go more defense, or if you're struggling with crit chance, you could come get crit chance nodes like where they're available around the tree. Lots of flexibility in here with this new setup. Okay, so that's gems, that's skills, that's items. Last thing I'll say or going to demo a little bit of is gameplay. So let me grab a map here. Let's see if I have any quant maps left. They're probably like all temp chains, which I could run a temp chains. It's not like that big of a deal. That one looks okay. Come in. Let's pick a tile that isn't total dog. Steaming Springs is okay. Cool. So you get into the map, and I like to do the pre-buff still. It's not necessarily necessary. You could just go start fighting and use your power charges, but it only takes a second, right? So we get 6 and we hit the charge staff, and then we get 6 more. Now, I should say it is probably better and more efficient and safer to just ice strike your way through the map, and I'll kind of show what that looks like to start. Because the ability is really good and really powerful and very efficient, right? And we're shattering like crazy, which is so good because when you shatter stuff, a lot of the on-death effects don't go off. Now, we're Flicker, so you also can just hit your Flicker Strike on repeat, and it is so powerful, and the AoE of the clear is so good. I've been having so much fun mapping with this build. I cannot overstate it. But yeah, it's a little bit of pick your poison. And yeah, shattering stuff is awesome. You'll notice like most of the on-death effects aren't showing up. It's fantastic. Some of your flicker chains are just like off the charts. Running an expedition is like such a joy. Like you set up the bombs, walk away, and you can literally like one-shot the whole expedition. I'll probably edit this video up to the expedition and like show what that looks like. Don't forget to keep your charge staff up. Very important. Also, when you get the Ghost Walker on Headhunter, things get a little bit dicey as you're flickering. I think there's actually a glitch where the Ghost Walk tries to take you out of the flicker, and in the animation, it doesn't, but in the actual game, it is. So it looks like a huge glitch where you just kind of die. So if you're starting to see that a bit, that's the reason why. It's because of Headhunter. So just pull your Headhunter off if it's bothering you too much. I think at this point in the season, like it's all about just having fun, right? So just leave it on and have a good time with it. And you can see from this breach, like, I'm not going to say this is the best mapping build. I think Whirling Slash is still better. But, like, how much fun is this? Like, this is so awesome. It's also pretty fast in terms of movement. Like, we have Blink now, and the Flicker Strike really takes care of a lot of movement for us. I mean, look at that. That is just fantastic. Rituals are fun, too. Like, you just repeat flickers through the ritual, and it's pretty safe and definitely very efficient. And I originally thought, like, this build wasn't going to be safe because look at my EHP. It is crap, and my defenses, they are crap. But because everything dies so instantaneously, it's actually, like, kind of tanky, I guess. Or tanky is the wrong word. You just don't die, I suppose, is the way to say it. I've also wondered, like, I'm going to leave Charge Staff off. I think, like, juiced map monsters, as hard as they are, the Flicker just deletes them with the AoEs from Coming Calamity. And I am pretty sure you don't even need Charge Staff. So if you wanted to, if you just want to be even lazier, just don't even turn on Charge Staff. Yeah, it looks like the rares are dying in one hit without it. Yeah. You don't need Charge Staff. Pointless skill. I think your flickers will be better without it because it has like a little aura buff that deletes stuff. Okay, we're here to the expedition. Hello. Okay. Let's set this up nicely. There's a nice chest node. Immunity. Only thing you don't want to take on these is like immunity to elements that you're really strong in. And then, of course, hits against monsters cannot be critical hits. I'm going to skip the cold immunity because I want to see all this stuff shatter. It's going to be awesome. I'm pretty sure about it. Okay, let me double check here. Looks good. We're going to hit it, and we're going to blink out of here. And we'll wait for that chain to finish and go kill a few things while I'm waiting. Can't believe how easily stuff is shattering. They nerfed freeze buildup by a lot in Dawn of the Hunt. And this build just doesn't seem to care. Okay, let's go get the expedition. I'm going to hit my charge staff and do this the right way. Oh god, there it is. Crap. How freaking awesome was that? Oh my god. Alright, enough said. The build is fantastic for mapping with these changes. Enjoy, everyone. I'm going to release this as like a members only video first, and then I will release it to everyone after that. GG's.